Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Canopus Chats with JD Price. Again, I'd like to say thank you all for joining me for season 2 and for the comments you've left behind after watching these videos. And don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. I thank you so far to those of you who have been and you've been watching, saying nice things. Please continue to pour it out. We love to read your comments. All right. So now, today, as I told you before, season 2 is all about choices. And I have a veterinary technician, Catherine Patton, with me today. And for all you animal lovers out there, you have an aficionado right here. And so I welcome you, Catherine, to Canopus Chats. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's so good to see you. Your beautiful smile as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, to get us started, the people know that in season 2, we begin with these I am statements. And so you are going to make a selection, and in so doing, you will be exercising your choice of which question you choose to answer through your I am statements.
I'll choose number 3.
Number 3, all right? So I'm putting 1 down. I'm putting 2 down. And ooh, let's see what number 3 says. Okay, number 3 says, I'm a former gymnast. All right, so tell me about your gymnastic days and what made you former.
Well, the sport you cannot do forever.
Right?
Especially for females, you peak at 16.
Mm-hmm.
But I started when I was about 6 or 7. My mom put me and my sister in a gymnastics camp, and the coach invited us to join the team. And from there, I did it all through elementary, high school, and college.
Really?
Yes.
And how was that for you? I mean, because being an athlete takes so much energy. So not only, and you started from you were very young, so.
Yes, so I would say my experience is probably a little different regarding school for most people, because I literally went from school to practice. And then from practice, I came home, ate dinner, did homework. Sometimes I was up very late, and the day would repeat. So it wasn't a lot of after school activities besides gymnastics. It basically became my career. At a young age, I did compete nationally, and I was in a Division I college competing.
Oh, that's awesome. All right, so demanding lifestyle, so definitely it has prepared you. Now people talk about being an athlete and how it prepared them for life. Do you see any correlation between what you did as a gymnast and what you're doing now?
I guess it teaches you discipline. You learn early on that in order to get things done is not always what you want to do at that particular time, and it's not always glamorous, but you're looking at the end results. So, for example, I wanted to be a vet tech, but I wasn't particularly fond of school, but pushed through school. I studied, I got good grades, and here I am a vet tech today.
Wow. So that's actually a perfect segue from life skills learned from your gymnastic days, and now you are operating as a technician, a veterinary technician. How did you, or first of all, maybe I should say, when did you find out that you were an animal lover?
From day one.
From day one?
Yeah, day one. I was always raised around animals, I guess you could say. So my grandparents had a dog or a cat growing up, and we were allowed to finally have a dog when we reached, I think we're like 5 or 6 years old. Basically, they want us to be part of taking responsibility of taking care of the pet. And I've always been in love with them. But that's not a surprise, because My parents, even though they may not be fanatics as I am, they are animal lovers as well. So there's always been a pet ever since I've been about 5 years old in the home.
So then, with that understanding, was it an easy decision for you then to go this path, or did you choose a different career path and then came back to this?
I did not choose this path right away. I forgot, I guess. I guess it was kind of told that I wouldn't be able to make money when I was a young age, so I kind of forgot about it and just went on with another career. I ended up getting a bachelor's in tourism hospitality management. Then 9/11 happened right as I was graduating, and there was no opportunity. So I went the route of working different jobs, and in every job I worked at, I basically took care of maybe the feral cats that were in the back. Or people always asked me questions about pet related stuff, even though I wasn't in the field yet. And then finally someone's like, so how come you don't work in the field? And I was like, I don't know. And I was like, you know what, maybe I should. And I quit my job at that current place. I was there almost 5 years, and I went to school.
Wow. So what kind of preparation does a person make? So I know a lot about the health field and some of the various roles, but from your standpoint as a veterinary technician, what kind of preparation does one go through in order to be certified and to function in this capacity?
So you can go to a 4-year college to get a degree, a bachelor's in veterinary technician or veterinary science. The route I chose was an associate's degree because I already had my bachelor's, and there's a 2-year program that I believe is still offered at LaGuardia Community College. So I went that route, even though I did it over 3 years because I was working at the same time.
Okay.
So yeah.
So, wow. Okay, so the schooling, making the transition from your previous education and training to now working as a veterinary technician or in the veterinary sciences. What would you say is the best thing you have done at work, or something? Maybe before you answer that, you should tell me what is like a day in the life of in your job or in the life of a tech's job?
Oh, it's not glamorous at all.
Huh?
People think that I said it's not glamorous at all. People
It's not glamorous. Okay.
Like, we play with kittens and puppies all day, and that's kind of opposite. I work in the surgical recovery rehabilitation department in my job. So daily activities are keeping the pet clean. So I'm always dealing with urine and feces. I am dealing with blood on a regular basis. I make sure they are comfortable. I make sure they get their medication on time. I'm also monitoring to make sure that their quality of life is at a respectable level. And I'm also informing doctors of their status on a regular basis. That's pretty much sums it up.
Now, it's interesting that you talk about the unglamorous aspect of the job, but would you say that it is rewarding for you?
It is rewarding. It has its difficult days, difficult weeks, or difficult months.
Right.
But anytime that we could get a patient to go home back to their owner is rewarding.
Wow. I think that's awesome. Now, let me ask you, based on what you have seen so far in terms of the relationship between the owners and their pets, what is maybe one thing that if you had to correct, one behavior that you would have to correct based on the relationship between owner and the pet, what would be that one thing?
I guess it's almost the same as, I don't want to say it's exactly the same, but it's like having a child. You should be getting your yearly checkups. Spaying, neutering is important. Right. Many people don't do it because they try to correlated to humans in that aspect. It's not the same. It prevents, spay neuters prevent ovarian cancer or pyometras, which is infected uteruses, or prostate cancer. All that could be avoided if they're spay and neuter early on. And it's also cheaper if you spay and neuter before there's actually problems.
Right.
And if you're doing your yearly checkup, you could usually catch some things before it's too far gone, or just even I would say if they're not doing right, like they usually see their pet on a daily basis, or things like vomiting. If you were vomiting more than 1 or 2 days, you would go to the vet. You shouldn't be waiting a week,
right,
or a couple of weeks. Something's wrong. So I guess that's something I would like to see less of, where they bring the pet in and it's too far gone, because sometimes it is something we could have prevented if we had saw them earlier.
I see. So this could be very sad too, when you bring the animals in and you hope for success and it's not. How do you handle that, and even the relationship between you and the pet owners?
Well, being that we do care, we do understand. You can usually tell when an owner really does care, and sometimes they just didn't know or didn't realize. So we just kind of talk to them like we would want to be talked to. And we're there for them during the end stages. It's sad. And usually what brings us back is the happy cases. So you keep going until you have another happy case, and then another happy case. And if you have a sad case, and you keep going until you have another happy case. And you also have your coworkers there. We're all fighting for the same results, so you're not alone in this.
Wow. Well, that takes me to my next question, which is a little bit more lighthearted. Happy cases. I wanted to know, what are some of the happiest times in your job? So you talk about, the busy work schedule and the vastness of the responsibility, but what are the happy moments?
Happy moments is when a pet has been with us for months, and finally gets a home. Yeah. And then we see them maybe a month later on their checkup. Those are really rewarding. They're really rewarding when people create Instagram pages that we could stalk them on. Well, the pet, not the owner, but so that we could. We love to see how they're doing. Because the saddest part is sometimes, they get adopted or something, and then we just never see them again. We just never know what's going on. So those are really great moments. Great moments is when a case comes in and it's 50-50. It could go one way or the other, and it goes the right way, and the owner's happy, we're happy. It's like a miracle surgery. So we've had cases, and unfortunately, so a lot of times our hit by cars are animals that are not spay or neutered. So again, that's also promoting. Again, please spay your pets. But one dog was fairly young. It was only about 2 years old. I think it was a Shih Tzu mix, and it had broken its pelvis, but it also had ruptured the urethra, which is basically connecting the bladder. So that could be a touch-and-go surgery, and we were just crossing our fingers the whole way through. We did the surgery. We told the owners that this could go great or this could go absolutely wrong, because sometimes the body just doesn't heal the way we want to. And the day that dog went home, we were ecstatic. The owner was ecstatic. We worked really hard to make sure that the animal was comfortable and that it healed the way it should in order to go home.
I know that we didn't really talk much about this, but did COVID have any impact on the care for animals? I know a lot of emphasis has been placed on the individuals, and I understand, but I was just wondering if COVID affected the animal care and the services, or no.
Yes, in the fact that we can't take as many as we used to.
I see. Okay.
I can only speak from personal experience with us. We're very short-staffed. So we also can't take in the numbers that we used to do as well. I do think because people are home more often, they are catching things a little bit earlier, which is good.
Right.
But we can't take them in as soon as we'd like. So we're doing a lot of telling them, please go to emergency if we feel it's an emergency. We also do see some more foreign bodies because people are home more and animals are getting into the garbage more often than they used to.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I think in that aspect. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. Yeah, we just have to space out what we can take in. We can't do as many surgeries as we used to do on a daily basis. We don't take in as many clients for appointments because now everything takes longer.
Right, into the process.
Yeah, the process is just longer now with us going out to the car to do paperwork, to sign, to do phone calls and stuff like that. So that does affect the amount of numbers that we could take in. I think it's affected other places as well regarding that. We've also found that people have become more impatient. We're also just human. We're just trying to do our jobs also. And the mask thing is very frustrating as well. It's like, just please abide by the rules and don't give us a hard time. Like, we have to wear a mask, you wear a mask.
Right.
So I think that's just some things that have been a part of differences with COVID.
I see. Okay. Well, you're still working, still caring for those beautiful animals, and I know you have. I saw a beautiful dog. Do you still have the dog there? Where's the doggy?
On my lap. Say hello. This is Sasuke.
Hi, Sasuke, with your fancy name. I like that. Sasuke is very quiet considering he's so close by. So when did you acquire Sasuke?
I've had him 3 years now. I keep looking at a corner of my eye because now my cat is also getting into mischief over there.
You have a dog and a cat?
I have 4 cats. I have 4 cats.
You have 4 cats? Okay, so that's really love. And the dogs and cats, the cats and the dogs get along?
Oh yeah, they get along.
So is it a myth then where we think that dogs and cats do not intermingle and have a good relationship?
It's like humans. Some get along, some don't.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's not a myth, but it's not also global either.
Right. There's some dogs that love cats, and there's some cats that hate dogs, and vice versa. So, and then there's some cats that hate cats. There's other dogs that hate dogs. It's just.
I get it.
People have different characteristics.
Got it. Oh my goodness. Kat, this was so amazing hearing you talk about your choices and how they've helped you to do something that you like to do, being an animal lover, and now you're caring for these animals. Now, those are my questions, right? But the people have questions too. So we have the people's choice. So I'm going to open this envelope, and I'm going to, actually I did already, let me just look to see what the card is saying. So one writer asked us, it said, so what do you do for fun?
It's a little bit different now. There's COVID. I do less, but it's just like the average person. Me personally, I like to travel. I like to go to the movies, pre-COVID. I like to watch anime. And I like
anime.
Yeah, okay. I'm an anime fan. I like hanging out with family and friends.
That sounds quite rewarding. All right, so you've socialized. Favorite place that you've traveled to?
Ooh, I guess the last place I traveled to, I would say, is Africa. I went to Ghana. I think that was my favorite trip so far.
Wow, nice. How long did you stay?
It was only a week. I definitely want to go back.
Yeah, Ghana is buzzing right now, along with a lot of the other countries within the continent. They're doing quite well. Well, that's exciting. One last question. So you like to whale watch. When did you start doing that?
Oh, I mean, it's just another activity. So they offered it, and I went whale watching with my family. It's probably the third time I've done it. But it's anything animal related, you probably will get me going. I'm not a huge fan of the reptile family, but I will watch it. I will watch them as well, or do activities, as long as I don't have to touch them.
Okay, all right. So you have some limits, some guidelines there. I got it. All right, as we wrap up our session, I want you to tell us if there is a quote or famous word that you live by, and if so, what is it?
I guess that would just be the verse I've always said all my life is I could do all things through Christ who strengthens me. My mom used to tell me that when I was younger. I used to say it every time, or whisper to myself every time I was doing a routine on Beam, because I was terrified.
I can do this. I got this, right?
Yeah.
I got this. This is awesome. Catherine, thank you so much for joining me today at Canopus Chats. And I know, based on your love for animals, those clients whom you serve, they're just really happy. Keep on smiling and taking awesome care of those animals. Thank you for sharing your choices with us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I'm going to
be very happy.